Happy Tuesday. Good morning, class. Today we're covering 24, 25, and 26, but I'm only going to touch on chapter 25, even though 24 and 26 also have some amazing things, especially 26. You do not skip that. One of the top 5 coolest things to happen in the Book of Mormon happens in their Nephi chapter 26. But what I want to focus on is some scriptures that the Savior quotes from Malachi in chapter 25. And he says in verse 1, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord of hosts, that it shall not leave them root nor branch," which is a way of saying they won't have connections or ties to their ancestors or to their descendants, which is, that's dreadful. It's terrible. Could you imagine going on in this life and not having any connections to your parents, your aunts and uncles, your grandparents? In verse 2, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and he shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall." And so he's talking about the second coming. He's talking about how those who are prideful, who do not seek him, will not have those connections. But obviously the faithful will. That's the purpose of the temple. The purpose of the gospel is to make sure our families stay together forever. And he alludes to that in verses 5 and 6. "Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And he shall turn the heart of the fathers to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers, lest I come and smite the earth with a curse." Now, if we fast forward, this was obviously in AD 34, and if we fast forward to 1823, then this is when Moroni comes to Joseph Smith. While it was about a little more than 3 years after, about 3.5 years after the first vision. And I love this because Joseph Smith is your age, and he is familiar enough with the Bible that he understands that Moroni is quoting Malachi unto him. And Moroni quotes Malachi, the same exact verses that the Savior had done, talking about Elijah, the priesthood, and that Elijah will come before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord, the second coming. And here in Doctrine and Covenants section 110, we get the fulfillment of this. So hopefully you can see that okay. That is a portrayal, a painting of Joseph Smith and Oliver Cowdery in the Kirtland Temple. The Savior has just come, accepted the house, forgiven them of their sins, and then we have these 3 visitors, these 3 angels come. It is Moses, Elias, and the last one is Elijah. And so if we turn to D&C 110, we see that at the very end, in verse 13, "And this vision closed." So Moses has already come, Elias has already come. And then after the Elias vision had closed, another great and glorious vision burst upon us. "For Elijah the prophet, who was taken to heaven without tasting death, stood before us and said, Behold, the time has fully come, which is spoken of by the mouth of Malachi, testifying that he, Elijah, should be sent before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, to turn the hearts of the fathers to the children, and the children to the fathers. And the keys of this dispensation are committed into your hands. And by this ye may know that the great and dreadful day of the Lord is near, even at the doors." And so I absolutely love these scriptures. I love how beautiful the gospel is, in the sense that Malachi said it in Old Testament times. The Savior re-quoted him during his visit to the Americas, and also during his own ministry. And then Moroni quotes it in his very first visitation to Joseph Smith. He's talking about the temple. He's giving Joseph these hints that you're going to be the one who's going to restore these things, who's going to see Elijah. And then ultimately in 110, 13 years after those first visits to Joseph in his room, they've built the temple, and the Lord's accepted it. Moses, Elias have come, and then Elijah, making sure that they have the sealing powers to fulfill these prophecies, so that when that day comes, the faithful are able to be families forever. And I love that. So my question to you today is, what does it feel like knowing that families can be together forever? Really, they really can. And what does that mean for you? And the second question, I'm cheating a little bit, is what would it mean to you if families could not be together forever? What if that was not even a possibility? Okay, thanks guys.